What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round Buy Show, where we bring you all football all the time. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have an extremely exciting episode for you guys, mainly because I have been absent for about the last couple of months. So I'm back full swing. Today I'm going to be talking about fantasy football, obviously due to the caption. So if you're back, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much for sticking with us, checking us out, commenting, liking our videos, sharing our videos. Appreciate you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, we do all football all the time. We are about a month away from NFL football and college football both starting. So what better time to talk about fantasy football than now? If you guys are drafting right, you guys should be drafting around week 3 of the preseason. So yeah, let's jump into it. So today I'm going to be talking about some running backs here. So I have 3 running backs in particular that I personally don't think, again, this is my opinion. If you disagree, so be it, but this is my opinion. So I have 3 running backs who I believe are not going to live up to their ADP. And then I have 6 running backs who I think are going to outperform their ADP. Some people might call them sleepers. Other people might say I'm tripping. So let's get straight into the episode. So to start off, I'm going to start off with this specific running back. So last year, this individual finished with 259 rush attempts, 1,252 yards rushing, had 10 total rushing touchdowns, 36 receptions, 281 receiving yards with 3 receiving touchdowns. This gentleman goes by the name Kyren Williams. So I have an ESPN PPR cheat sheet right here, right in front of me. So ESPN currently has him ranked as a number 17 running back, which is not, I wouldn't say it's not great, but it's not terrible. Personally, I actually had Kyren Williams last year. I don't think he's going to crack the top 20 in my opinion. I think he might be in the top 25, which honestly is still not terrible, but I personally wouldn't recommend to grab him and have him as your RB1, maybe RB2, maybe flex. But reason being is ever since Blake Corum has been in the league, he has been eating and chipping away at Kyren Williams' production. So his rookie year, which was 2 years ago, he had 58 rush attempts for 207 yards. No rushing touchdowns, 7 receptions for 58 receiving yards. So every year that he's been in the league, he's kind of been chipping away at Kyren Williams. This year, I think he's going to I think personally they're probably going to be like at a 50-50 split, and I think Kyren Williams maybe like towards the middle or end of the year, I think he's going to leapfrog Kyren Williams for that RB1 spot. So if I were you, I probably would not draft Kyren Williams. Funny because I do have Blake Corum here as one of my sleepers. So ESPN currently has him as a number 40 running back here, which I think if all goes well, I think he will definitely finish in the top 30. The thing about Blake Corum is he's kind of like here, like in the middle of the cheat sheet. So if you're like in like the, I don't know, if in like the middle rounds and you have like some pretty solid running backs and you have some pretty decent wide receivers and you're like thinking, like who should I pick? And you don't really know like any names that are on the board. If you see Blake Corum, don't be afraid to draft Blake Corum. I think he's going to do some good stuff. So keep him on your radar. I think it's going to do some good stuff. So the next person here that I don't think is going to perform up to standard or to their ADP, I should say, is Mr. Jeremiah Love. So rookie out of Notre Dame at the Arizona Cardinals. Reason why I don't like his ADP is currently he is at number 6 in PPR formats. I don't like it, mainly because Arizona's running back depth chart is kind of wild. So you got Jeremiah Love, you got Tyler Algier, which we all know is a pretty good running back. He was playing kind of second fiddle to Bijan Robinson over in Atlanta. I kind of feel bad for him because I think he signed with the Cardinals because he thought he was going to be RB1, and then they ended up drafting Jeremiah Love. But they got Tyler Algier, and then they also have James Conner, Bam Knight, which is honestly like a pretty good running back as well. So they have like a pretty crowded running back room. So I don't know if Jeremiah Love's going to be taking RB1 snaps to start off. I think they might have like a timeshare with Love, again with Love, Connor, and Algier. So I definitely would not draft him in the first or second round. That's just me personally. Now, if he becomes available, like maybe somewhere like in the late 3rd or maybe 4th round, then okay, maybe draft him because he has a lot of upside. But the way that their crowded backfield is, I just don't trust it. And that team just overall is not very doesn't have a lot of juice. Their quarterback situation is kind of rocky. Jacoby Brissett's their quarterback. Maserati Marv, or honestly Mitsubishi Marv, hasn't been really performing up to standards. So a lot of people think they might tank so they can possibly draft Arch Manning or Dante Moore's one of these other quarterbacks. So I don't know. I just don't trust Jeremiah Love. Yes, I know he had a pretty good year this past year with Notre Dame, but I wouldn't draft him. I'm not very high on drafting rookies either. Granted, every once in a while you might have a rookie where you're just like, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You got to draft them. Just like I said, that running back room's too crowded. I wouldn't trust it. You can get some more quality running backs around the area where you would draft him at. I mean, you got James Cook. I would definitely trust Ashton Genty, Hampton, Barkley, heck, even Kenneth Walker before I draft Jeremiah Love. The next one I have, and this might surprise a lot of you guys, someone who I don't think is going to perform to their ADP. Might get a lot of backlash for this, but I might also help a lot of you guys out who are deciding on who to draft at number 1 or maybe even number 2. I don't know. But that gentleman goes by the name of Mr. Bijan Robinson. So before you guys roast me in the comment section, so I am a diehard Texas fan. I'm a big Bijan Robinson fan. I even have some of his freaking cards over here. But the reason why I wouldn't say too high in Robinson. I know he's going to do good. He's going to do his thing. But to sit there and kind of to compare the season that we think he's going to have, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a better season. So at Atlanta, they have just a rocky team, and I don't trust their freaking front office. I don't trust their coaches. I don't trust anybody in Atlanta. Not only that, but Michael Penix Jr. is said to have some sort of injury still lingering around. Tua, obviously, I wouldn't even trust Tua if he was in Miami, but Tua's like having some sort of like back soreness or something like that. Like he's not 100% healthy, so they actually just signed Cooper Rush as their QB. So we don't know who their quarterback is going to be entering the season, which brings me to my next point. So Bijan Robinson obviously is a phenomenal athlete. So whenever you have an athlete like that and your quarterback position is god-awful, it's going to put a lot more pressure on your running back because they know you're going to feature your star players. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I don't trust Bijan, but what I'm saying is if you're thinking between Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs at the number 1 spot, you got to go Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he has a better team overall, better coaching, better overall everything. And that's coming from me, a huge Texas/Bijan fan. So I don't know. I would definitely go Gibbs over Bijan, at least for this year. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Time will tell. But definitely be careful with Bijan. I would say for sure he's going to finish top 10, but I don't think he's going to finish top 2 for sure. So now that I got the people who are underperforming their ADP, I'm going to move over to some of my sleepers or some people that I think are going to overperform their ADP. This gentleman goes by the name of Mr. Cam Skattebo. So currently he is listed as the number 19 running back, which again is not terrible. A lot of people don't like Cam Skattebo because of the physicality that he plays with, the kind of boneheadedness that he plays with. But personally, I think he's going to have a great year, especially if he stays healthy. And a lot of people are like, well, the way that he plays, he's not going to be healthy. But you never know. Last year was kind of a freak accident. I think he broke his ankle or something. But I think if he stays healthy, he's definitely going to finish in the top 12. So last year he played 8 games, and these stats might be a little misleading, but if you watched him play football, then you know what he's capable of doing. But last year he played 8 games, had 101 carries, 410 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns, 24 receptions, 207 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. So not great stats, but again, if you watch the New York Giants play football, and whenever you watch Cam Skattebo, dude, he's a freaking freak of nature. Personally, he reminds me like a mix of Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Dude, if you give him the ball, watch out because you're gonna need 2 or 3 people to bring him down. He's just a freak athlete. Again, if he stays healthy, I think he's gonna do well. He might lead the league in rushing touchdowns, especially if the Giants can get into goal line position a lot. I think they're gonna feature him a lot, and him and Jackson Dart are really good friends. So I think he's gonna do everything in his power to kind of feed him the ball to kind of boost his numbers. Just my opinion. Malik Neighbors is also coming back healthy. They do have Darius Slayton. OBJ is coming back. I don't know where in the depth chart it's going to fall in, but they do have a lot of weapons coming back. Harbaugh's in as head coach, and we know that he loves to run the football. So I do think Cam Scadaboo is going to be getting a lot of looks. I do think Tyrone Tracy is going to be mixed in there a lot to kind of ease the load on Cam Scadaboo. But whenever you got a player like that, I think you got to play him and give him the ball. Not to say as much as possible, but I do think you got to feature him a lot. So personally, I do think if he's available in round 2, like later round 2 or something, I think he's worth grabbing. I think he can produce as a RB1 personally. That's just my opinion. RB2 at worst, but definitely keeps Cam Scadaboo on your radar. I'm definitely going to try to snag him in my draft. So if you are in my fantasy football league, please don't draft him. Let me draft him. I appreciate it. But moving on to the next one. I got another person who I think is going to outperform his ADP. This gentleman's name goes by Jadarian Price, another running back that played for Notre Dame last year. Personally, I think he's going to do better than Jeremiah Love, given the circumstances. Obviously, Price is with Seattle now. We all know K9, Kenneth Walker, went to the Kansas City Chiefs, so that's going to leave a big void there for somebody to take reps for in the running back position. Granted, I do know that the Seahawks do have Zach Charbonnet, but I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL this past year. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to ease him back into action, so I don't think he's going to be like featured right off the start. I did read something earlier that he might be available for week 1 in September, but I'm pretty sure the Seattle Seahawks are probably going to be smarter than to rush him into everything, onto the field, I should say, and feature him immediately. So the Seahawks, reigning Super Bowl champions, they do have a pretty good offense, especially with Sam Darnold taking reps, and with JSN coming back, Jadarian Price is going to be the feature back, I think. So he is currently number 24. I think he easily finishes in the top 15. So I think he's definitely worth a 3rd round draft pick if he's there available. So don't be afraid to draft him there. Just my opinion. Next person I'm going to move on to, and I don't know how the hell this guy is way down here. So the next person is Mr. David Montgomery. So we all know how him and Jahmyr Gibbs did over in Detroit. They were known as like Sonic and Knuckles duo. Now he's with Houston, and he is going to be RB1. They do have Woody Marks going into his 2nd year, but I think David Montgomery, he has a lot of experience. I think they're going to feed him the ball quite often, especially in the goal line. He kind of reminds me a lot of Cam Scadaboo without the boneheadedness. Just a big body dude who's not afraid to get dirty, kind of just punish you for just even existing. So David Montgomery is number 26 here. I think he finishes top 15 easily. Again, whenever they get into the goal line, I think they're going to feature him a lot, and I think he's just going to be a touchdown vulture. So again, if you already have a solidified RB1, maybe you picked up Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe you picked up Devon Achane, Jonathan Taylor in round 1, and then you go like receiver. Maybe it's like round 4 and you're like scratching your head. Try to get running back. Yes, you probably should. Go ahead and draft Mr. David Montgomery. I would honestly draft him ahead of Jadarian Price, in my opinion, but I think he's going to do pretty well. Next person here, a lot of people don't really know about this gentleman. This guy is Mr. Jonathan Brooks. So this guy, unfortunately, had back-to-back years with knee injuries. So he got injured over in Texas. Then he got drafted by the Panthers and got injured. I think it was like in the preseason. I can't remember. And then he missed again the whole year. So he's pretty much been out of action for like 2 years or so. But, I mean, he's still young. He's like 22, 23 years old or something like that. So he's not one of them old folks with terrible knees. So I think he definitely can come back from these injuries. Obviously, Rico Dowdle is no longer with the Panthers, so that's going to leave a void. They do have Chuba Hubbard, but I think they're going to kind of split the backfield. Jonathan Brooks is a name to keep out there. So again, if you already have your RB1, RB2, and you have your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, you're kind of like drafting and you're like really not knowing who to pick. They currently have him at number 38, but I think he has potential to finish top 25. If you see Jonathan Brooks on the board, don't be afraid to draft him. I feel like he has a lot of upside. I'm not saying draft him in like round 4 or anything like that, but like again, if you're like sitting in the middle rounds or later rounds and you don't know who the hell to draft, Jonathan Brooks is someone to have your eyes on. His style of play really reminds me a lot of like Bijan Robinson mixed with like Roshan Johnson, only because they came from Texas. But if you watched him in college, you know what he's capable of doing. He was actually one of the best running backs whenever he was healthy in college football, which I know college and NFL are completely different. But if he can somewhat get back to his old self, he's going to do some good things for Carolina. So keep Jonathan Brooks on your radar. I think he's going to do some good stuff this year, and I hope he doesn't get injured. So I got 2 more running backs. Well, technically 1 more, but I'm just going to hit on this guy a little bit more. So another sleeper I have here is, again, going back to the beginning of the video, is Blake Corum. They currently have him at number 40, but he's been chipping away at Kyron Williams for the past couple of years. I think worst case scenario, they split timeshare 50-50, but I think ultimately he's going to have like more rushing yards or rushing touchdowns, either or. Blake Corum's a good name out there to pick. So, again, if you're like in the later rounds and you don't know who the hell to pick, Blake Corum is honestly probably one of the best handcuffs, in my opinion, to pick up. So moving on to my last potential sleeper here. This gentleman is ranked number 47 on the ESPN Fantasy Football Draft Kit here. This guy goes by the name of Braylon Allen. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's a Jets, but I don't really trust Breece Hall. Like, I know last year he got over 1,000 rushing yards, but just everybody on that team, just I don't know. I just don't trust them yet. I know they got Garrett Wilson, but just the Jets organization in general, their GM, their coaching, their team, like I feel like just nobody's motivated over there. Braylon Allen, if you saw him play last year, like, this guy's a freak. He plays super hard. Not afraid to take a hit. He'll freaking make you. He'll punish you for even getting in his way. This is another handcuff that I really like, and I think he's gonna be taking some reps away from Mr. Breece Hall. So Braylon Allen, again, if you guys already have like a pretty solid team, you already drafted RBs, you already drafted receivers, quarterback, tight end, like all your important positions. Braylon Allen, if he's there, don't be afraid to grab him as a handcuff. Again, right below Blake Corum, I think Braylon Allen is probably one of my favorite handcuffs. Again, if you watch him play last year, he plays super hard, super tough. So he's going to be one to keep an eye on, especially as a handcuff. But that is going to be it for today's video. This is just going to be my running backs video. I'm going to do separate videos for quarterbacks, tight ends, receivers, and all that other good stuff. So if you're interested in more fantasy football talk, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep bringing you guys the content. If you agree or disagree with some of my takes, drop down in the comment section. Let me know why you disagree. If you already did your draft, tell me why the hell you already drafted and who the hell did you draft. I'm curious to know as to why. But thank you guys so much for watching. This is absolutely my favorite time of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep your eyes out. I will have more videos within the next few days. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.